What if I told you that a story that's like 2,500 years old actually holds the secret to surviving your next big, high-stakes deal? Well, today, we're going to unpack a timeless warning that, trust me, you can't afford to ignore. All right, let's just jump right in with a big question. It's one we all face, right? You see this huge opportunity, it's glittering, it's everything you want. But man, it feels risky. So, how do you know? How do you decide when it's worth the leap?
I want you to picture this for a second. You're working on a huge project for a really powerful client. The reward is massive. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? It feels like the path to the treasure is laid out right in front of you, but you can't shake that feeling that there's something in the shadows. It's that classic setup, right? An incredible promise mixed with this deep, unsettling feeling of danger.
And here's the thing that's so wild. This isn't a new problem. Not at all. This is a trap that people have been falling into for like centuries. But the good news? Lucky for us, there's basically an instruction manual for how to deal with it, and it was written thousands of years ago. Yeah, that manual, it comes from one of Aesop's fables, the story of the wolf and the crane. Now, on the surface, it just seems like a simple little kid's story about two animals, but really, it is a razor-sharp, absolutely brilliant commentary on power, on trust, and on the fundamental nature of predators and the people who provide for them. Okay, so the story kicks off with our main character, the wolf. This is a guy who's usually at the top of the food chain, right? But his own greed, his gluttony, has brought him to his knees. He's got a bone stuck in his throat. And for a predator whose whole life is about eating, well, this is a full-blown crisis. So the wolf is desperate. He needs a specialist, and he knows exactly who to call. The crane. Why? Because she has the perfect tool for this very specific, very urgent job, her long, skinny neck. She's the only one who can possibly solve this life-or-death problem. And here's where the deal goes down. The wolf has to convince the crane to take this just incredible risk. So what does he do? He makes a huge, over-the-top promise. The reward isn't just going to be good, you see. It's going to be handsome, substantial, maybe even life-changing. Now, the crane, she's terrified, and you would be too, right? Her gut is just screaming at her, danger, this is a bad idea. But that ambition, that dream of the huge reward, it's just too tempting. It completely overrides her survival instinct. So she takes the deal. She literally puts her head inside the wolf's mouth. And boom, she does it. The procedure is a success, the bone is out, the wolf is saved. The crane did her part, she held up her end of the bargain perfectly. So what about that reward? It's payday, right? But wait, before we find out what happens next, we really need to break down the players here. To really get what's going on, we have to look at the fundamental nature of these two characters. It's not about what they did in that moment, it's about who they are deep down. See, this isn't really a story about a wolf and a crane. These are archetypes. They represent timeless personality types. On one side, you've got the wolf. He's the predator. Pure, unrestrained greed. He's got that sense of entitlement that so often comes with power. And then you have the crane. She's the professional. She's skilled, she's capable, but she's also just a little too optimistic, letting that promise of a big payout blind her to who she's really dealing with. So the second that bone is out of his throat, what happens? The wolf's desperation, it's gone. Poof. And you know what else is gone? Any shred of gratitude. His true predatory nature just snaps right back into place. And this is the moment. The chilling, unforgettable punchline of the whole story. The crane asks for her reward, and the wolf hits her with this just masterful display of toxic entitlement. Wow, he doesn't just say no, he completely twists the whole situation around. This move actually has a name. We can call it the predator's reward. It's a tactic where someone weaponizes the absence of harm. Hey, I didn't hurt you, what more do you want? That becomes your payment. The wolf is a genius at this. He brilliantly reframes his own basic decency, not biting her head off, as some kind of generous gift, completely erasing the skill, the risk, and the actual deal they made. Okay, so this all leads to the big question, the one that really matters for us, right? How do we avoid ending up like the crane? How can we spot this stuff happening in our own lives and, protect ourselves? Well, let's get into a modern playbook. Because make no mistake, these modern wolves are everywhere. It's the client who suddenly gets really slow at paying your invoice after you've delivered the amazing project. It's the colleague you mentored who, once they get a promotion, suddenly has no memory of how they got there. It can even be the friend who promises to pay you back, but then just offers you, their continued friendship as payment. It pops up anywhere there's a power imbalance. And if you look back, the crane fell for all the classic pitfalls. First, she trusted a desperate promise instead of looking at a pattern of behavior. The wolf being a wolf. She assumed his moment of need meant he'd changed his nature. But the biggest mistake, she did the dangerous work before getting her payment locked down. And in the end, she had to accept not dying as her compensation. Not a great deal. So, what's our playbook? Here are 4 steps to protect yourself. Number 1, assess their character, not their promises. What's their track record? Number 2, secure your reward up front. Get it in a contract, have crystal clear terms before you start. 3, trust your intuition. That little feeling of unease, that's a huge warning sign. And number 4, and this is the big one, prioritize your self-preservation. Your safety and your dignity, they are absolutely non-negotiable. Really, it all comes down to this one crucial lesson. You have to negotiate your worth and get it secured before you take the big risk. Because the second that predator's problem is solved, poof, your leverage is gone. It just vanishes. And look, the final takeaway here isn't don't be ambitious. Not at all. This story is a call for wisdom. Being ambitious is fantastic. Helping people is great. But being smart and protecting yourself, that's what ensures you get to keep being ambitious tomorrow. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Who are the wolves in your world? And more importantly, are you getting your payment secured before you stick your neck out?